In this problem, we are given the curve y equals the square root of 4 minus x squared, and we are asked to find the surface area obtaining by rotating the arc about the x-axis. So right here, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to graph this equation. However, the square root of 4 minus x squared is hard to visualize as a graph. But we know that this is equivalent to the circle of x squared plus y squared equal to 4. So we have a circle with radius of 2. So now graphing this, we have a circle with a radius of 2, and we are integrating it from -1 to 1. So we care about the arc length rotated around the x-axis. So it's this area, surface area right here. So we will be using the equation of a to b 2 pi f of x times the square root of 1 plus the derivative of the function with respect to x dx. So now here, first thing we're going to do is we are going to take the derivative of our function. So the square root of 4 minus x squared, we're going to rewrite it as 4 minus x squared to the 1/2. So taking the derivative with respect to x gives you 1/2. 4 minus x squared to the -1/2 times -2x. This would be equal to -x over square root of 4 minus x squared. So now we also need to take the square of our derivative function. So that would give us x squared over 4 minus x squared. So now after we have this, we are ready to write our integral. So when I'm writing my integral right here, instead of writing it from -1 to 1, notice that here I have symmetry. So from 0 to 1, I would obtain the same surface area as if I have it from 0 to -1. So I can write my integral as 2 times the integral from 0 to 1, 2 pi, times the function of f of x, which is the square root of 4 minus x squared, times the square root of 1 plus the derivative of the function squared, which is x squared over 4 minus x squared dx. So now here I am going to pull out the 2 pi. So I would have 4 pi integral from 0 to 1 square root of 4 minus x squared times, now I'm going to add the 1 plus the x squared over 4 minus x squared, and I would have 4 minus x squared plus x squared all over 4 minus x squared dx. So now here I am going to rewrite the function as 4 minus x squared. Now here, these would cancel out, and I would be left with the square root of 4 over 4 minus x squared dx. Using the square root property, I can rewrite this as 4 pi integral from 0 to 1 square root of 4 minus x squared. Now the square root of 4 over the square root of 4 minus x squared dx. From here, I would have 4 pi, 0 to 1. Notice that this square root is the same as this one on the bottom, so they cancel out. Square root of 4 is 2, so I would have 2 dx. This would be integrated as 4 pi times 2 to the x, evaluated from 0 to 1, and then it would be 4 pi times 2, which is equal to 8 pi, and that's my final answer.